Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward. Chapter 45. The recoil was incredible. Kayana was flung into the air from the force, careening past a rocky outcropping. She hit hard-packed dirt and uttered a prayer as air was immediately forced from her lungs. Her eyes watered from the impact, her back throbbing in several places. Forcing her lungs to work, she sucked in a deep, ragged breath. Her right leg was numb, having taken some of the brunt of the impact from the fall. The devastation that swept before her eyes was utter and complete. The caravan had smashed over onto the rocky canyon floor, chunks of wood and debris loose among the wreckage. Her eyes passed over the bodies that lay partially buried beneath the behemoth. Slowly, Kayana directed her vision to her side and looked to see that several of the pursuers had pulled up their mounts short. Their mounts pulled up short, having danced back at the last moment to avoid disaster. She counted 5. Her shoulder screamed in pain. A dull shooting pain was flowing into her leg and her arms where she braced herself. Wincing, she realized she could move. The riders weren't looking at her. Maybe they thought she had been crushed with the others. Closing her eyes, she held herself unmoving against the cliff wall. It was a dangerous gamble, but she knew she could not take 2 of them head-on, let alone 5 without a weapon. Her mind reeled back to Millie. She hoped the child had escaped the wreckage. She would not leave her to face bandits alone. If she moved now, she would give herself away, without question. Her stomach turning, she knew the course of action she would take. Stilling her breath, she remained immobile. Her ears would need to warn her of any approach. She felt naked out in the open with no cover. If they surrounded her, no, mustn't think of that. They could feather her like a pincushion before she could move, she realized. No begging or quick words would change the outcome if she was discovered.